What's up guys, Derek here with Tap and Turn Gaming, coming at you today with another EDH deck tech. This will be another installment in our series of Battling with a Budget, and which are subscriber requested decks. Excuse me. This deck was requested to us by Jim Maylard, and he actually asked for something a little different than we normally do. Normally we do Battling with a Budget for $50, but these are subscriber requested decks, and he wanted to see what we could do with Edric Spymaster of Trest for less than $200. So he has a little bigger of a budget than the $50 budget that we normally do. So as you can see, we have Edric Spymaster of Trest for $200. Now Edric has a lot of power with him. He is a elf rogue, and he is a 3-cost 2/2. And he has the ability of whenever a creature deals combat damage to one of your opponents, its controller may draw a card. So he's a very political general. If you put him down, other people are going to attack, not you. If you're playing a multiplayer game, they're going to attack the other opponents beside you so they can get that card draw. So it's really pretty cool, and it really is a political general. But one of the ways we decided to save money and hit that $200 budget and make it so we could spend a little more power in the deck was we still skimped a little bit on the mana base. So the mana base we went with Alchemist Refuge, Evolving Wilds, 15 Forests, Halimar Depths, 15 Islands, Mossbort Bridge, Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, Simic Growth Chamber, Simic Guildgate, and Terramorphic Expanse. So we still kept the mana base pretty slim so we could stay under that $200 budget while packing a little more power into the deck itself. That being said, this deck does have a few combos in it, as well as some really just good synergies, and I'm going to go over pretty much everything. But just to put it out there, Jim asked us to come in at a budget of $200. We actually came at $200.01. So I'm sorry, Jim, but I broke the budget by a penny. I hope you can forgive me and go on with the rest of this video. But I'm going to go over the rest of the deck, and then we're going to talk about some of the intricacies of the deck after. But for artifacts, we're running Bow of Nilia, Conjurer's Closet, Simic Cluestone, Key Rune, and Signet, Soul Ring, and Strionic Resonator. For enchantments, we have Greater Good and Asceticism. For sorceries, we're running Tooth and Nail, Sky Shroud Claim, See the Unwritten, Regrowth, Recollect, Kadama's Reach, Genesis Wave, Cultivate, and Boundless Realms. For instance, we're running Spell Siphon, Spell Crumple, Rewind, Remand, Hinder, Ghostly Flicker, Familiar's Ruse, Disdainful Stroke, Deprive, Cyclonic Rift, Counterspell, Court of Calling, Cancel, Beast Within, Aether Spouts, and Aether Eyes. So pretty much as you can see for our instance, we're basically running a lot of counter magic, and then things like Cyclonic Rift and Aether Eyes and Aether Spouts to protect us, but it's a lot of counter magic. And then a couple of tutor spells and some just sort of techie spells. For our Planeswalkers, we're running Kiora the Crashing Wave, Jace Beleren, and Garruk Primal Hunter. And for our creatures, we're going to run Acidic Slime, Aether Snipe, Archaeomancer, Clone, Deadeye Navigator, Den Protector, Draining Welk, Eternal Witness, Mnemonic Wall, Momir Vig, Murkfiend Liege, Mystic Snake, Palancrone, Peregrine Drake, Prime Speaker Zagana, Prophet of Krufix, Reclamation Sage, Sakashima the Imposter, Sakashima Student, Soul of the Harvest, Temur Sabertooth, Terastodon, Venser Shaper Savant, and Woodfall Promise. So really the whole point of the deck comes down to controlling what's going on. Early game and to mid game, you're going to be using a lot of your counter spells that we have over here to really sort of lock things down and only let down what you want to let down. And then late game, you're going to use a lot of your combos. As you can see, we have a lot of enter the battlefield abilities between Acidic Slime to destroy things, and Terastodon and Woodfall Promise to destroy things. Venser will just stop spells from resolving. Then we have Prime Speaker to draw cards, Peregrine and Palancrone because they're combo pieces, Mystic Snake and Draining Welk both counter things. So a couple of the synergies we really have here is that if you have down Archaeomancer or Mnemonic Wall, either one because they both let you get back a card, or Eternal Witness for that matter, any of those three, plus, let's see, where is it? Palancrone or Peregrine Drake, they will go infinite with Ghostly Flicker and let you infinitely cast Ghostly Flicker and generate infinite mana. So what you end up doing is you have down your Palinchron or your Peregrine Drake, you have down Archaeomancer or Draining Welk or Eternal Witness or Mnemonic Wall, and you cast your Ghostly Flicker. So what's going to happen is when you cast the Ghostly Flicker, it's going to exile the Peregrine Drake or Palinchron, and it's going to exile either Archaeomancer or one of his cousins. Then they're both going to instantly come back in. When Archaeomancer or his friends come in, you can take back the Ghostly Flicker, and when Palinchron or Peregrine Drake come back in, they're going to untap the lands. So that's going to generate you at least minimum 5 mana if you have Peregrine Drake, 7 mana if you have Palinchron. So you're going to use 3 of it to recast your Ghostly Flicker, and that nets you 2 mana. And you'll probably either get a green and a blue, or 2 blue or 2 green, but most likely you're going to be getting a green and a blue. And you keep doing that and doing that and doing it, and that nets you now infinite mana. Once you have infinite mana, and you have it established that you have infinite mana, you no longer need the Palinchron and the Peregrine Drake, and you can switch to something else. You could switch to, say, Acidic Slime, and now flicker the Acidic Slime and the Archaeomancer and destroy all their lands. Or Aether Snipe and return everything that isn't a land to their hand. Or what else do we have here? We can go with Prime Speaker Zagana and draw as many cards as you want. Or Terracodon and blow up all their stuff. Or Woodfall Primus and blow up all their stuff. And that gives you supreme power over them. There's really not a lot to be able to do when you can infinitely generate infinite mana and do whatever you want, really, pretty much. This will also let you get back as many spells as you want, really. I mean, if you have Archaeomancer, if you generate that infinite mana and you switch out you have now Archaeomancer and Eternal Witness, you can get back your entire graveyard to your hand. So the applications for that little combo are really, really good. Being able to reuse your spells basically as much as you want is really nice. And then late game, we have the interaction between Deadeye Navigator and Mystic Snake to counter a spell, or with Draining Welk to also counter a spell, and he gets bigger. He can be one of your finishers. We run all the clone effects to be able to do it again and again and again. I mean, I feel as though a lot of power has been packed into this deck for a really good cost. It's really not bad at all. And then you add in things like the fact that we have Conjurer's Closet to be able to flicker any one of these ETBs is really, really nice. One thing I will say, I really feel an all-star is Temur Sabertooth. Having played with this guy and against this guy, he really is better than people give him the 24-cent price tag for. I mean, the fact that you can pay 2 and bounce another creature to your hand lets you reuse and enter the battlefield, and it makes him himself indestructible. That's a pretty powerful thing. If someone goes to a Wrath, you can use that as many times as you want and save 2, 3, 4 creatures, and he becomes indestructible. So you really just netted some value. So that's really good to be said. Then we have Murkfiend Liege to untap stuff, Prophet of Kruphix to untap stuff, Momare Vig to tutor for the creature that you want when you want it when you start casting some of your spells here. But yeah, I really like this deck. I like the way it really runs. I like the feel of it. One of the things I ran was Familiar's Ruse, and it's a hard counter for 2 mana, but you have to return a land you control. No, sorry, return a creature. And the reason I included this still is because we have so many ETBs that it's not really much of a hurt for us. And then I put in... Did I put it in? Let me see here. Deprive, yes. Deprive wants you to return a land you control. And I also didn't see that as much of a hindrance because we are running Halimar Depths and Mosswort Bridge. So there is that opportunity to get value out of it still. And you're countering their spell, and you're also getting value off it later by being able to reuse your lands. So that's more or less where I went with the deck itself. It balances out very nicely between blue and green. It's actually 44% green and 41%. That doesn't add up. It's actually 50-50. When it comes down to the math, it's 50-50. A lot of creatures, a lot of instants. It curves out pretty well. You dramatically go into 3, and then you curve nicely down into 8. So once you get to turn 5, you're being able to drop 2 and 3 spells at a turn. And turn 5 is when you're going to be able to start dropping creatures while still holding that counter mana. And that is a huge, huge thing. It has TCG as $221.41, but it actually calculates to about $200.01, like I said, and that's because I filtered out using also the cheapest possible set, and we do not include the general and the price of the deck as well, even though he has dropped in price considerably. But yeah, this is our Edric Spymaster of Trest for a budget of $200 or less. I am Derek with Tap and Turn Gaming. I hope you enjoyed the deck. Jim, I hope you liked it. Let me know what you think, and we will get back to you with more deck techs as people request them. Thanks a lot, and goodbye.